Hello everyone, my name is Bill Parker and today I'm going to show you how to do a deep fake video. It's fairly easy to do and it's pretty quick to do. But before we get started, if you don't know, I host the AI book club where I discuss books with my two quote AI friends. These two AIs are based on an NLP, natural language processing technique called GPT. I urge you to watch some of these episodes to find out more and get a little bit more background on what we're doing here. But today, we will be able to take a video of someone and literally put words into that person's mouth in a video, a short video, or it could be a longer video. But we can also do it with just an image. So here are a couple of examples from the AI book club where I've done exactly that. So first is an image of a dollar bill that I put my own voice into.
Whoa, I'm George Washington. I chopped down a cherry tree. I'm money. All right.
Next is an image, or it's actually a video of that I named Marie, who is one of the two AIs in my book club, who is voicing her GPT-generated text. And this is actually from the book club.
No, again this is just the process of creating a program that mimics an emotional agent. Emotions are a natural byproduct of the brain. I don't think that a human would have the mental power to program emotions into a computer, but I don't see any particular reason why an AI couldn't program some of its own emotions into its brain.
All right, so those are two examples. They're actually from episode 3, where my two AI friends and myself, we discussed Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. And actually in that video, or in that video, episode 3, I actually also deep fake a video of myself. All right, so besides the two GPT AI models I fine-tuned to give their own personalities, I use another technology to sync up their words with their appearances, and today I will show you that. That's the deep faking part. Yeah, so with following this video that we're doing today, you can do basically the same thing to create your own deep fake videos. Now, what I'm about to show you is based on what I do for the AI book club, but actually what I actually do is similar to this, but what I'm going to show today, but I modified for the book club so it scales up and I can automate the process and make the discussion more fluid. But you'll still be able to create videos with what you see today. All you need is a video file, like an MP4 file, and a sound file. Those two things. So the sound file can be either an MP3 file or a WAV file, and then we're going to sync them. It's all going to be done in a Python notebook, but you really don't need to know or have to know Python in order to do this unless you don't have a sound file already. Okay. So for example, if you have some text that you want to convert to a sound file, I will also show you how to convert text to speech. So if you don't already have a sound file of someone talking or self-talking, I have some Python code to do that. But if you already have your sound file, maybe it's a sound file of you or a friend talking or a lecture, maybe it's a famous speech or someone rapping, then you can skip the text to speech part that I'm going to show here in a minute and skip and go right to the deepfake video part, creating part. Anyway, let's get started. All right, so if you don't already have a sound file, someone talking, well, you need one. Now, like I said, if you already have your voice MP3 file, you can skip this part. This is the only part that requires you to know Python. But so let's say we have some text that we want to convert to a sound file, right? Find some text, we're going to convert it. So the text I'm going to convert today is from the book I, Robot. Here I have it up here on the screen, different passages from Goodreads, and what my plan is, I'm going to convert some text to an MP3 file, okay? So in order to do this, I'm going to use Google's text-to-speech API, and the links that are for this are below. So using this API and a little Python code, we can convert this text to speech. All right, so here's the link to the Google's text-to-speech documentation, which is pretty good. You can read through it. Right. So I'm going to show you some Python code here in a minute. Now, what's kind of interesting here, before we jump into it, there's a couple of things that we need from here. One is we need to know that what Google's API does is that it supports a bunch of different a bunch of different voice types. We go to here's this link is also in the links below, but I don't know how many there are, but there's a big list here of voices, and you can see they're in different dialects. So even for like English, we have Australian. So if you want to create some text-to-speech in an Australian accent, you certainly can. And you have a bunch of different male and female voices. So we'll just pick one here.
With cloud machine learning, your application interprets images, texts, and more.
Yeah, so there is a Australian accent. We scroll down here, there's English UK accents, and I'm looking for the English US. Now the ones I actually use in a book club is this A for the male voice and for the one character, and this F for the female voice. And this voice, if you watch the episodes, this one may sound familiar.
With cloud machine learning, your application interprets images, texts, and so much more.
So that is actually the voice I use for Marie. Okay. All right. So, but the point is, you have a bunch of different voices, dialects to choose from. So what do we need before I show you the Python to get started? There should be a get started in here where we're not going to do the command line, but here there talks about what you need in order to get the Google Cloud API enabled if you don't already have it. I'm assuming that you don't, but you need to follow this before you begin. Create audio from text. We're not going to do the command line version, although you certainly can. But you need a Google Cloud account, and you can use the free account. All this stuff that I'm doing today, you can do for free using the free account, perfectly free. All right. But you do have to make sure you have to sign up for a Google Cloud account. Make sure billing is enabled. You have to enable the text-to-speech API, and then you have to do this part. Download and this is all when you set it up. When you turn on the text-to-speech API, there's a part in there where you can download the JSON key. Okay. Download a service count credential key, and it's going to be a JSON file. All right, so you basically just have to do these 3 steps. Well, after you sign up for an account. All right, so now that you have your JSON key, you need to, and I'm in VS Code here, but you need to copy it into the directory that's going to have your Python file. Now, I have the link for my GitHub account that has this code in it. I'll walk through a little bit of it, but rest assured it's up there in that GitHub account. Okay. Here I just have the link. I have my imports. This is important here, this OS environment. And all you have to do is put your file name for your credentials, the JSON file here. Okay. And there's just 50 lines of code in order to, at this point, 50 lines of code to generate this sound file from the text. And so here we would put, right here, we would put in the name of the WAV file, and that was from that list of dialects. And if you remember, the one I picked was en-us wavenet-f, which is actually the one for Marie, but you can pick out one of the other ones and put it in here and change, if it's UK, you'd have to change this part here too. But all this other part you would leave the same, and then all you have to do is change this name to whatever you want to name the MP3 file. All right, so in order to do this, we need to, after you've substituted your JSON file name into where it says place your JSON text file name here, we need to actually get some text. Okay, so I'm going to go out to the iRobot passages, and I'm going to just grab some text in here that I want to convert. So I'm going to take this, I'm going to copy it. I'm going to go back to my VS Code here, and I'm going to paste it in here. So the text you want to convert is just in this variable called text between the triple quotes, and I'm just going to paste it in here over the top of where it says put your text here. Right, so it's between the triple quotes, and now you can change the file name here if you need to. Like I said, this is showed you, this is the WAV file that you want. So here I'm using wavenet-f. That was from the big list of file names or dialects, right? So if you want a different voice, you can change that. But those are only the three things you have to really change. You have to change, well, you might change the file name. You might change the voice. I guess there's 4 if you count the fact that you have to put in your JSON into that one line. And then you have to put in the text. Those 4 things really. All right, but now we can go ahead and run this. Python space record.py. That's the name because that's the name of the Python file here. And they're generated. Written to file special underscore 001.mp3. And now let's play it and see what it sounds like. All right, so here it is, special underscore 001.mp3. Let's play it and see what it sounds like.
I absorb electrical energy directly and utilize it with an almost 100% efficiency. I am composed of strong metal, am continuously conscious, and can stand extremes of environment easily. These are facts which, with the self-evident proposition that no being can create another being superior to itself, smashes your silly hypothesis to nothing.
All right, so yay, it worked, right? So we just successfully took some text and converted it to generate a voice, right? So now we have an MP3 file. Our next step is to take this MP3 file and match it up to a person. So this person is actually saying these words, okay? That's going to be our next step. All right, before we get to the next step, let's just kind of review the steps that we had to do in order to do this. First I had to do the pip install of text to, I don't know if I mentioned this, but I had to do pip install for text to speech and text to speech underscore v1, right? I had to substitute in the name of my JSON file here that you downloaded from Google Cloud when you enabled the text to voice API and got your credentials, right? I needed to put in some text in here that I wanted to convert. Now, optionally, I can look through those lists of voices and dialects and substitute a voice in here, label, to pick out the voice I want. And optionally also, if I want to change the file name, I can change the file name here, right? So those would be the 4 things that you might want to change. All right, so now we are ready for the deepfake video part. Now that we have an MP3 file, right, a voice, speaking some text. Now what we want to do is put it into somebody. So they say these words that we just generated, right? So the technology that I use is called wave-to-lip. Wave-to-lip. And these links are below. And it is based on a paper that was written by these 4 individuals, and you can read through this PDF if you so choose, but you don't have to in order to use this. It's great work that these guys did. A lip sync expert is all you need for speech to lip generation in the wild. Okay, so you can read through this if you like, although you don't need to in order to use it, because they have a great set of instructions on how to use their program. Okay, but if you want the technical details, you can certainly read through this. This is the link that you really need to their GitHub account, because it is all set up with the links that you need. They give a little bit of background here, paper, project page, demo video. They have some really cool demo videos. But what we're going to be using is Google Notebook, this Google Colab Notebook. All right, so Google Colab Notebook, if you don't know, and you don't need to actually know the technical details of this, but it's a Jupyter-based notebook that's in the cloud. And in order to do this, all you need is basically a Google account, which you should have one at this point. Well, I guess you wouldn't necessarily have one, but because we will be using Google Drive to store our input files and downloading our output file. All right, so I'm going to be putting these wave to lib links below. But this is the notebook that we're going to be using. So they actually have two links here. They have the Google Colab Notebook and the updated Colab Notebook. Now, I'm going to use the Colab Notebook. I'm not going to use the updated one. So that with the updated one, you can certainly look at it. They kind of cleaned it up. They made it a little bit cleaner. I use this one because I find it more easier to modify, I think. There's a reason I started using it. But if you click on that link, it takes you to their notebook. All right, so here's their notebook. And what you're going to need to do is we're going to be running all these cells here in this notebook. All right. But there's two things we need to change first, and actually there's a couple things I need to show you before we start running these cells. The only thing that we have to change is we have to tell it the file names here. So we're going to change this to the name of our file, our video file, and this to the name of and they have a WAV file here, but ours is an MP3 file. This will be the name of our MP3 file. We'll change it here and here too. So just these 4 places. These 4 places is all we have to change, and then we can run the notebook, and it will generate our new video with the voice and the video matched up. Okay. So you may be thinking, like, where can I get a video? Now you can use an image. It doesn't have to be a video. This is an image. It could be just a PNG file that's here, right here, right? It could just be a PNG file, like that dollar bill I did, right? It could just be a PNG file. But you may be thinking, or like, where did you get these videos that I use for the book club? And I'm going to show you here. All right, so you can get these videos or video from almost anywhere. Or maybe you already have a video of a person that you want to insert new voice, new text, or new words into that person's mouth. Now, the place that I've been using to get, because it has videos of just what I look for as far as the book club goes, is the videos of a person just kind of standing still with a little bit of motion, staring straight into the camera. Because I find that works best. So there's a site called Pexel that has real short videos and I just like scroll down here and I can find some like this person here just standing looking at the screen, and it's just a very short video of them, and these are all free. And there's other ones here like this one, you know. I just look for ones that looked like, as far as the motion they have, looked like that they would work well as far as the motion goes. Now the only ones I found that don't work very well, if there's like a lot of motion and the person's doing something with their face, or I've also found that men who have facial hair, like when it does the syncing of the words to their mouth, it has problems finding their mouth, like if they have facial hair. But it's just a little bit of trial and error. As far as like finding a video that works. The only thing I'll ever say about the video that you do choose is make sure that there's a frame in every, like there can't be like blank frames at the beginning, but usually there isn't. Like if you get a video, it's going to be a full video. But this is what I use. So I just like downloaded one of these real short videos, and it works really well. All right, so back in back in the notebook. So like I said, we're going to be running all these cells, but first we have to do a couple things first. We have to change this from input vid mp4 to the video that we have in this WAV file to the mp3 file. Now, in order for it to find it, we have to put it in two places. Well, we have to put it on our drive in the we have to create a directory called wave2lib, lib with a capital L. And if you look here on my drive, I have a wave2lib directory. You also need to create a wave2lib with a lowercase l that it's also going to use. All right, but in this wave2lib file, I had the video files, and you see, like, here's the image of Mozart, the $.png that I used in my other video. But you can see that I have different ones. Here is Charles that I use, and here, I'll just bring him up here. But you see, he's just standing there, right? He's not actually saying anything. That's the video that I downloaded. Same thing with Marie, right? If I play it, right? So you can see that she's just looking at the camera, right? And so we will put words in their mouth. All right, so back in the notebook, I can change this to Marie.mp4. I'll change it down here to Marie.mp4, and yeah, the name of our mp3 file is special_001.mp3. So we'll change this here, special 001.mp3, and change it here. All right, so now we're ready to just run all the cells, and it's going to create it. So literally, we're just going to start at the top and run. And we can say, if it asks you to run anyway, we're going to say run. If it asks you a question, you just type Y into the little text box. I'm going to speed up the video here and run these cells, and because this takes a couple minutes. But and then we'll look at the results. All right, so it finished. And so here, I'll show you what this looks like here. It's under this now, let's try. And again, you have to run all these cells. And if you might get asked a question to proceed Y in, just type Y and click on all the cells so they all run. But then when you get this now, it's the now let's try where we change those 4 different sections. You run this one, and it lists out the files, and then run this one, and you get output that looks like this. And eventually, once it does all the chunks in the video, it finishes, and you see like the next cell, it says, use the files button on the left to download the result in the wave2lib/result folder. That's where it put the output. Before we look at it, the only thing I'll say about this is that these files do not have to be of the same length. So your sound file, your voice file, does not have to be the same length as your video. So you don't have to like worry about that. So what happens is, if your sound file is much longer than your video file, the video file will just start at the beginning and just kind of wrap. All right. So you can have a sound file that's it just starts at the beginning. Or just like plays to the end of the video file, then as long as your mp3 file is still going, it'll start over at the beginning of the mp4 file and continue on. So you don't have to like deal with that issue. All right, so now we should be able to look at the files button on the left in the results. in the wave2lib directory under results, you can see that there's a result voice MP4 file, and we just click on the 3 dots and download it, and it'll take a little bit. Actually, download it right away. And now we can play it and see if it worked. All right, so here it is. Let's see if it worked.
I absorb electrical energy directly and utilize it with an almost 100% efficiency. I am composed of strong metal, am continuously conscious, and can stand extremes of environment easily. These are facts which, with the self-evident proposition that no being can create another being superior to itself, smashes your silly hypothesis to nothing.
All right, so you can see it worked. Kind of spooky, right? So, but this one, as I was just saying, like the MP3 file was actually longer than the video file, but you may have saw it like start at the beginning and start over again as far as the video file, if you were watching real carefully, but you know, it's almost imperceptible, right? So that's it. And yeah, so creating deepfake videos. So that's it. And like I said, check out our links below. Check out any of the past episodes or future episodes, and subscribe so you can be notified when I do future episodes, because I have some pretty interesting stuff coming up that's planned in the next in the future. All right. So until next time, I'll talk to you. Well, I'll talk at you later. All right. Bye.